Hello and welcome to the Nicotine Diaries. I don't know what I'm going to call this. Um, welcome to this thing. This is my first ever YouTube video, and I'm the jaded optimist, and I'm trying to quit vaping. I'm not trying. I am quitting vaping. I'm just going to say that with some conviction. And I don't know why, but a couple of days ago, when I was having a really bad day with vaping, and I decided that I was going to quit, finally going to quit, not like all the other 100 times that I said I'm going to quit in the last 6 weeks. For some reason, I had the thought that I should maybe try and document my journey. So here we are, day one. It's funny because I used to smoke a lot of weed, and when I finally quit smoking weed, I had the same idea that I wanted to sort of document the first 30 days of the withdrawal period or something, and I never got around to doing it. But this time I thought, yeah, I'll actually do it. So here we are. I haven't even been vaping for that long. It's been it's a long story. It always is, right? But it's a long story. So I used to smoke cigarettes when I was smoking weed as well. And then I stopped smoking cigarettes around the same time I quit smoking weed. And I also got sober around that time as well, like completely sober. Don't drink or anything. And for some reason, nicotine is the one thing that I always go back to. So every few months into my recovery, my sobriety, I will start smoking ciggies or pick up a vape or something along those lines. Just nicotine, nothing else. And usually it doesn't last very long. Usually it lasts about a month or 6 weeks, and then I get bored of it, or it makes me feel sick, or I get headaches, or I get dizzy, or something happens and I'm like, nah, this isn't worth it. Like, things were better before, when I wasn't, inhaling nicotine in some form or another. But for some reason this time around, it's been harder to stop, and it's been about 4 months now. So today is the 28th of September 2025, and I started vaping again about mid-May 2025. I want to say the 21st, 22nd, something like that. I don't know the exact date. And I actually added it up yesterday. Let me see what I wrote down. I added up how much money I've spent on vapes in the last 4 months. That's been 4 months, right? May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 4 months. Where did I write it down? Here. So yeah, May to September, I've spent £464 and 63 pence on vapes in the last 4 months. That's over £100 a month on vaping. That's not good. There are many things I could have done with that £464. I don't know what I could have done. I could have bought many things. I can't think of anything right now. But yeah, it's not good. It's gotten out of hand, and it's time to stop. And I had a really bad day on Friday. Today's Sunday, and I had a really bad day on Friday where I think I might have given myself nicotine poisoning. I don't know. I didn't feel like I was vaping any more than usual, but I think it's just the build up of, because I buy those little disposable ones, the Lost Marys. I don't have one around to show you. But you know what I mean, the little 600 puff ones, and I've been getting through one of those a day. One a day. And there's like 20 milligrams of nicotine in one of those vapes. I think it's the equivalent of like 30 cigarettes or something. Like, when I used to smoke cigarettes, it would be a rare day that I'd smoke 20 cigs. That would be like a really bad day. I was averaging about 10 cigs a day, I think. So to go from that to like 30 cigarettes worth of nicotine in a day is kind of insane. And yeah, I actually got COVID a few weeks ago, and I was really sick, and I stopped vaping then, and my lungs were starting to sort of clear themselves out. And I think I went like 7 or 8 days without vape. And then when I went back to work, and yeah, I just went straight back to it. But since then, because of the COVID, it's really like I've really got a build up of, I don't know what it is, mucus or something in my chest. Like, I'm really congested, and yeah, I don't know. It's not been fun. It's not been a good couple of weeks for me trying to push through the obvious signs that my body is giving me that it does not want me to vape anymore. And so yeah, Friday was really not very good. I think I mean I don't know that it was nicotine overdose or nicotine poisoning, but I felt absolutely awful. I'd vaped too much. I was getting like my heart was racing and I was really dizzy and I kept like spacing in and out. I was really tired as well. And I was getting like a really tight chest. I couldn't really breathe. I had like shortness of breath. I had a weird like metallic-y taste in my mouth and I was getting really dizzy and like yeah, walking down the street from work to my car to go home, I just like basically nearly passed out. It was just too much. And I got home and I was like, this is really bad. And I was Googling symptoms of nicotine poisoning. And then I was like, do I need to go to the hospital? I didn't need to go to the hospital, but I clearly overdid it. And I think it just showed me that I can't control myself. I just can't. Every time I tell myself that, I'm just going to have a few puffs here and there, I'm just going to have it in moderation, I'm just going to have it, in a calm, normal way. And I can't. So it has to stop. So I stopped yesterday. I told myself Friday was going to be the last day because I felt so terrible after the potential nicotine poisoning. And I told myself I wasn't going to vape after that. But then I had like half a vape left over when I went to sleep on Friday night. And then I woke up on Saturday morning and I saw the vape. I was like, I'm 100% going to. Oh, why are balloons happening? That was weird. Was that like a hand signal that I did? Well, the balloons are just celebrating the fact that I'm quitting. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so no, I saw the vape on Saturday morning. I was like, I know this is going to be a problem. Like, I can't just not have it because it's right there. So I finished smoking that one and then I stopped vaping at about 3 o'clock yesterday. So today is my first full day without vape, but I've got this little app on my phone called My Quit Buddy, which is by the Australian government. I don't know why that's the one that I downloaded, but it looks fun. And it's been 1 day and 5 hours since I stopped vaping. Can you see that? And I've saved $6. There wasn't an option to put pounds in, so I've put in dollars. But yeah, that basically means £6 because I was spending like $5.99 on one of those little vapes every day, every single day. So yeah, what else is there to say? This is already 8 minutes in. God, I don't know if anyone's going to watch this or find it of any use. I'm mainly just doing this to keep myself accountable, really, because I've tried to quit quite a few times in the last month or 6 weeks, and I always find some excuse or some reason to go back on it, and I always regret that. So I figured if I am uploading these videos every day or every few days, then that's something to kind of keep me accountable for the first like 30 days or so. And if anyone else happens to come across it and finds it useful when they're trying to quit vaping as well, then I guess that's a good thing to put out into the universe. But yeah, I'm under no illusions that this is going to make me famous or anything like that. And I don't want it to. I don't want to be famous, especially not from being a fucking addict. Can I swear on YouTube? I don't know. Am I going to get taken? I'm going to get reported before I even get to make my videos. Yeah, well, I guess because today has actually been okay. Like, I slept fine last night, and today I drove to see a friend of mine who lives about an hour away, and I drove to see her, and we went to the zoo, which was really nice, and it was a sunny day. We got food, we went to the zoo, took some nice photos with the meerkats and stuff, and it was really fun. I had a really nice day, and I've not really thought very much about vaping. I think being active has been really helpful. I think if I just had a day off to myself, like a day to my own devices today, it probably would have been a lot harder. So I guess that's good advice, is to find something active to do in the first few days when you're quitting. Being in a new environment, I think, was really helpful. Driving, I think, was really helpful because it was kind of taking my mind off things. But yeah, I've honestly not thought much about vaping at all today. And I've not had too many symptoms from the nicotine withdrawals. I'm getting a few skipped heartbeats now, which just happens whenever I stop vaping. But it also used to happen when I was vaping. So I think it's just, yeah, my heart rhythm does not like nicotine in its system. But yeah, when I quit smoking like cigarettes a couple of years ago, I remember I used to get a lot of these skipped beats, and then it kind of just calms down. It kind of just stops on its own. Um, yeah, but other than that, I've not really had too many symptoms. I haven't felt as sharp as I usually do, I guess. I haven't felt too tired, to be honest. I think the fresh air and the sunlight has helped, and the good company of my friend. I've got a bit of a cough. I'm coughing up some mucus, which is fun. But again, inevitable. And I've been coughing even when I have been vaping, so that's not necessarily any worse than before. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about tonight because I know sleep in the first like week or so of nicotine withdrawals is not great. But I have done a lot of exercise today. I've walked about 12,000 steps today, so I'm hoping that will be enough to send me off to sleep. But I'm aware that I might not sleep too well tonight. That's just the way it goes. I'm sort of prepared for that for the next few days, and I'm getting a bit of like a scratchy throat now as well, a bit of like a sore throat. Um, but yeah, otherwise, it's not been too bad actually. It's actually not been that bad at all, and yeah, I'm surprised, I guess, that it's not been that bad. Although I know sometimes the symptoms can actually get worse before they get better, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I guess in these videos I'll just share what my symptoms are, share what's coming up for me, share anything that I'm using that I think is helping with the withdrawals. And yeah, I guess that's it really. I don't really know what else I can share. I'm not gonna vlog. I don't think I'm not gonna take you out with me. Maybe I'll put some photos of the zoo at the end of the video, although I don't know if I even have video editing software on this laptop to do that. Probably I don't. Yeah, it's not going to be like a, if I go for a run, for example, to help with the withdrawal symptoms, I'm probably not going to take you with me on the run. I'll just go for the run and then come back and be like, I went for a run. It might change. Maybe I'll gain massive confidence as we go through the process and I'll become a vlogger. I don't know, but right now I think I'll probably just sit in front of the camera and talk. I don't have one of those little like lapel microphones that everybody has these days. I hope you can hear me. um, yeah, no, I guess that's it. Maybe I could also sort of share with you today a bit about why I vaped in the first place. And I think, yeah, nicotine is I just have this very romantic connection with nicotine and have done since I was about 16 years old. And I don't know, nicotine's just cool to me. Nicotine's very cool. Vaping is not as cool as smoking. I don't think so. And actually, I have had this thought today where I'm like, maybe once I make it past 30 days, I'll allow myself to go back to smoking ciggies, but I'll have like 1 or 2 cigarettes a day. I'm going to allow myself that if that's what I want. But I think I haven't felt very cool recently in my life. I think partly because I'm sober now, and being sober is not very cool. I went through a bad breakup in May. That was the real trigger for me picking up the vape again, picking up nicotine again, as I went through a bad breakup. It was very messy. There was a lot of anger and betrayal and despair and all this stuff coming up for me, and I just didn't really want to deal with it. And so my sort of addict tendencies took over, and I reached for a substance to numb my emotions, which, as with all substances, works really, really well until it stops working and until it starts giving you side effects, such as not being able to breathe. And yeah, I think it's funny because for some reason in the last few months I've been using vaping as an excuse for why I can't do other good things for myself. So I've kind of just fallen off of all of the positive routines that I had in place in my life before, like exercise, meditation, even things like my sleep routine, my diet, all these things that I felt like I was doing really well with and I was on top of, and I had these quite solid routines in place. When I started vaping, I sort of threw all of that out the window, and I think I've been using vaping as this excuse where I'm like, well, vaping's bad for my health, so if I'm doing that, then there's no point in meditating, and I may as well go to sleep with my makeup on, or go to sleep without brushing my teeth because I'm vaping. So what's the point? I've used it as this weird sort of buffer for any sense of self-care at all. And I can't really, even to my own, it just doesn't make sense to me logically, even to myself. And no matter how hard I've tried in the last couple of months to pick up those routines again, I've just got this weird block in my mind where as long as I'm vaping, there's just no point. Like, there's no point in exercising in my mind because I'm vaping, and vaping's really bad for your health. So why do something good for your health? Even though, plenty of people go to the gym and go to bed at a reasonable time and take care of their mental health whilst vaping. The two things are not mutually exclusive, self-care and vaping. But for some reason, I've just allowed it to, I don't know, ruin my life. And a lot of it is the fallout, I think, from the breakup. I think I kind of admitted to myself last week that I'm a bit depressed. Like, I've become a bit depressed in the last couple of months. And a lot of it is from, the suppressed emotions from the breakup, and the fact that the vape is kind of helping me to do that. And I think I have been afraid to face some of those emotions. I think I have been actively suppressing them, which is annoying because I thought I'd got to a point in my life where I knew that wasn't a healthy thing to do and that it didn't get me anywhere. But here we are. I think acceptance is really important. I have to accept this is where I am and forgive myself for the position that I'm in, because it was a messy breakup and I've not been through something like that really ever. The kind of, I'm not going to go into the details of it, but I really haven't been through something as messy and kind of painful as that in my entire life. So but I'm ready to put it all behind me, and I think quitting vaping is a good statement I can make to myself that I'm not going to allow this experience to push me down anymore. I'm not going to allow this breakup to dominate my mind and to lead me to a place where I don't want to be. Because life has not been very fun in the last few months. And a large part of that is because I'm not taking care of myself and I'm not facing the things that I need to face in my life. So that's why I'm quitting vaping. That brings me back to vaping. And good God, I've been talking for 17 minutes already. So I'm going to probably stop there. I don't know if that's a good length for a video or not. Maybe that's too long. In my head, this is going to be like 8 or 9 minutes. But there was clearly other stuff that I wanted to say. So like I say, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know even what to call this. I don't know if Nicotine Diaries makes it sound like... Because, I don't know, the Quit Vaping Diaries doesn't sound very good. Nicotine Diaries sounds good, but it doesn't sound like what it actually is. Nicotine Diaries sounds like, I'm espousing the benefits of nicotine. And actually, the whole point of this is that I want to stop consuming nicotine. I don't know why I'm doing this to my face. So that's it for today. Episode 1, day 1. I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll let you know how I'm getting on. If you too are quitting vaping, please do let me know. You can send me a comment. You can subscribe, I guess. That's the thing that people do on YouTube, isn't it? You subscribe to my channel. Sounds really weird to say that. But if you've enjoyed this video, I don't know why you would. But if you've enjoyed it or if you found it useful, or you want to share anything, then just let me know. And I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with something positive to say about day 2 of being vape free. And I'm just killing time now, so I'm going to shut up. Okay, bye.